Hello friends, welcome back to another session of Docker. So in our last session we are done with the basic commands of a Docker container. We will quickly summarize them. Quickly we will once revise them, and we will go with the next container related commands. So if I ask you question number 1, how to see the Docker version, using docker v command. You can see the Docker version. Okay, how to see the full version of a Docker, like full information of Docker. This I'm not asking only the version. How to see the full Docker version, Docker information, Docker version. Docker v is used only to see the version of your Docker, where Docker version is used to get the more information about your Docker. How to see, how to list, or how to see. Question 3. How to see or list the local images of a Docker local repository, repository. Simply Docker images. You have to write a command called Docker images. By seeing this one, you can see how many local images are present in your local Docker repository. How to pull a new image. How to pull a new image from Docker Hub. What is Docker Hub? Central public repository, repository. Simply, it's quite simple. Just you have to use Docker pull, then you have to tell the image name, it will pull. If you don't provide the tag, what happen? Next question, if I ask you, what happen if you do not gives the tag name of image while pulling from Docker Hub? What happen? Docker will add latest tag name by default. That's what's happening. If you don't specify any tag version or tag name for that Docker image, your Docker by default will add latest. This one it will add by default, add latest tag name by default. Docker will add latest tag name by default. Okay, how to search how many tags and how many images are there for a particular image name. You can search. How to search the image? How to search for images available in Docker Hub. Docker Hub, you know, that is a central public repository. Repo you can see. Okay, public official or central repository. You can say what are the name you want to give, you can give. Control 5. Question 5th. Now question 6th. How to see the history of image steps or image layers, or you can say that read only layers. So very simple, you have to type Docker history. After that one, if you want to give image ID, you can give image ID, or you can give image name. That is to use to see the Docker image read only layer, or read only layer is nothing but the set of instruction that is given in that image. And how to manage or you can say that a common question, you can say that which command is used to manage the image. When is the image? So Docker image, to manage the Docker image. Like currently we have seen Docker image remove only. Lot of are there, we will see that later. Okay, remove by forcefully. If you have created container from the Docker image, you have to use forcefully. Okay, so these were the the topics that we did in our last session. So in this session we will do some commands related to container related commands. Okay, so first command, that is a Docker run. What is the use of Docker run command? Docker run command is used to create the Docker container, from image. Suppose we have downloaded some images in our local repository. I want to create a container from that one. How can I do that one? I have to use Docker run image name. So in that case, what it will be? It will create the container. Suppose currently how many images are there? How we will see the image? Docker images. Currently there is no image, but I want Docker run Ubuntu. Now what is Ubuntu here? As per our command, what is Ubuntu? Ubuntu is our image name, and we have seen in our last session Ubuntu official image is there in Docker Hub. So it will create a container from that image. Your Docker will create container from Ubuntu image. So what happened? Because currently there is no image in my local. Will it create the container, or what will happen? Let's see. So first it is trying to find in local. So in your local repository, Ubuntu is not there. So what it is doing? It is pulling from where? Library, pulling from the central repository or from Docker Hub. It is pulling that image first, because we have removed that one. In the last session we pulled we did pull this Ubuntu image, but we removed later on. So currently there was no image. We have seen here also Docker images, there were no images, but I am directly creating a Docker run Ubuntu. It means I am expecting there must be an image of name Ubuntu in your local repository, but it's not there. So it is unable to find the latest one. So what will happen in that case? It is pulling from Docker Hub. After pulling, it will create a container, it will save in a local repository, then it will save. So let's wait. I think it will take time to download. Okay, it is almost over. Okay, then it is extracting and it is saving in local and downloaded new image from Ubuntu. So what happens now? We have done docker run Ubuntu. What it is doing? So so if I see images, how many images are there? Ubuntu latest image is there, and image ID is assigned and new created, and size is this one. Now I want to see how many containers are there, because what actually docker run command is doing. Docker run create the container. Create the container is simply, you understand like that. So here you understand like that, you are running what? Docker run what? Image. Simple image name you are telling. What we are doing here, we are saying docker run to whom? Run what? Image. Which image? Ubuntu image. It means we are running image. Running image is nothing but creating a container, because from image what we can do? There is only one operation that we can do using image. We can create a container. Image can be used to create the container, that's it. So we are what we are doing? We are creating a container only. We are running image. Read like this: docker run this image. Docker run Ubuntu means docker run this image. So it means create the container, because by running image you will create a container. By running image you will create the container only. So that is the use of this one. So now there must be one container, because we have created one container. So how will you see that container now? Okay, so if the image is not found, so first thing, if image is not there, suppose you are running this command docker run and image, if image is not there in your local, first it will download or it will pull from the remote repository or central repository of Docker Hub or Docker Hub. Docker Hub is nothing but your remote repository. You can say central repository or public central repository, whatever. You can say remote repository also. It's your name. Actually this is a server, separate dedicated server, and taken by the Docker Docker team only. They are managing all that one there in their repository. That is a publicly available. So that is, you can call that as a remote repository, or you can say that as a Docker Hub. So when next onward, if I say Docker Hub, you understand Docker Hub is a central remote repository where all the images are stored. Publicly you can access. Okay, and you can create account there. You can put your image also in that one. We will see that later. So while running the image, you will create a container, and if the image is not there in local, it will pull from the Docker Hub. Only one time the image will be pulled from Docker Hub. You keep in mind. Next time, suppose if I will run this command again, how many containers will be there? How many containers will be there? See, I am running this again. It's done. How many containers are there now? 2 containers should be there, because, and image, how many image will be there? 1 image. Images will not be pulled again. You can see here images is 1, because see, from 1 image you can create n number of containers. Similar to your Java. In Java you have created 1 class. By using that class you can create n number of object of that class. You can create or not? Yeah, the same concept is here. This is like a template. In Java, in class, that is also a template only for an image, for an object. So similarly, this image is like a template or is like your Java class. From this one you can create a number of object. Similarly, from the image you can create n number of container. Okay, fine. So to show the list of running container, I want to show how many containers are there in that system. See, container is what? Container is a virtual machine. It's like a virtual machine, and virtual machine has either it is running or not running. That is a second thing. But virtual machine is there. So similarly, in Docker, virtual machine is nothing but a container. So in that container, is that container running or not running? So first I want to see how many containers are there only. How many? Show all the containers. So I will use docker ps. Docker ps. PS means, what is PS? I will show you. First see docker ps. So there is no container, means no running container. Container is there or not, that is second. But currently PS means what? Docker PS. PS means to show the list of running container in your Docker. To show the list of a running container in your Docker. So there is no running container, but how many containers are there? How will you know? We will see that. So what is the meaning of PS now? Docker, that is a command. Okay, Docker is a Docker related command. PS stands for process status. What is process status? Which process? In Docker, what is process? One container, if it is running, that is a one process. If in your Docker machine, if one Docker container is running, it means one process. So it is telling the states of that process only. So that is nothing but process states. Process states. I want all. All means all process states. So there are two containers, but how many containers are running? How many of them are running? There is no running container. It's just created 2 minutes ago, 7 minutes ago. Two we have created. And this name, amazing Kohon, youthful Kohon, some random name it is assigning. Your Docker is assigning some random name for your container. You can give this name also. You can give your own custom name, and you can create the container by the name also. With that name it will come. But if you are not giving any name, it will come like that. So container ID, here you see container ID will assign it by your Docker. Whenever you are creating a container, your container will your Docker will assign a container ID. Which image means which image is used to create the container, the name of image. Which image we used? Ubuntu is the image that we used to create the container. Okay, command bin bash, from bin bash we created. Okay, next, when it is created 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago, 7 minutes ago, something like that. Status exited means what? It's not running. Exited means exited from states, running state, that's it. So exited. Okay, 2 minutes ago, when it is exited 2 minutes ago, means whenever we created this container, after that one we have not started this container. Okay, port will come when you are running or some networking related you want to do. Like, see, in your machine, if you are running some applications, some server, you have to give some port, because that you have to access that application through that port only. So similarly, container is also running in your system. To access that one, you need a port number. So that is the port it is indicating. We will see this later. And name, it is assigning the default name, or by default some name it is assigning. You have not assigned this name it is assigning automatically. If I create another container from this one, see, I'm creating another container. So one more container created, and now if I see one more name is coming, some name, I am also not able to read this one. Okay, so like that you can see. But process status A stands for all. All means all container tell which one is there, like running container and non-running containers. So currently there is no running container, all containers are in exited states. Okay. process status to show the list of running container in your Docker. Process status docker psa to show the all containers, both running and non-running container. Okay, docker rm container id, you want to delete the container. How can you delete? Docker rm stands for remove, and you have to give the container id. Multiple container ids you can give. Is it similar? This is similar. Like how you will remove the images? Docker image, then image id or image name you are giving. You are giving image id or image name, and you will removing the image. Okay, similarly docker rm, you have to give the container id. You have to give the container id. You cannot remove by container name because there is no name. If you see here, I think we have to see this one. We can remove by container name also. We'll see this. We'll see now. So I will try to remove one container. Docker rm, I want to remove a container. Which container? Consider this first container. I want to remove it. So copy and paste it. Sorry, no, I think it is not copied. Docker rm remove this container. I am just passing container id, and it is giving that container id back, and it is removing. So let's see, it's removed. Yes, it's removed. Now I want to remove by name. I want to remove by name. Can I do so? Similar to image. Copy and paste. So I think it is removed. Yes, it's removed. Yes, it's removed. So you can remove by either by the container name or container id. Okay, and container remove forcefully also one is there. To remove the container forcefully, what is the meaning of to remove the container forcefully? Suppose that container is running and you are trying to remove the container, because container is already running. How can you remove it? You cannot remove. You have to tell forcefully, yeah, I want to remove. It is just indication for the user, so that user will understand, yeah, this container is running. You should, if you still you want to remove or you don't want to remove. So so this is the meaning of. So we will see this in later forcefully. First I will will show you how I will try to remove the image now, because this image, Ubuntu image, is used in this container. We have created a container from that image. I am trying to remove that image now. So docker images. So there is one image, docker image remove this image. By you can give the name of the image, or so what it is telling now? What it is telling? It is telling unable to remove Ubuntu, and it must be force container. One container is there. What is the name of container? Container ID C04667. Same is there. So one container is using this reference image, because by using this Ubuntu image we have created a container. So there is a reference. One reference is there for this image, for a container. So you can't remove. You have to tell forcefully. I am trying to remove this forcefully. So what will happen? If I do forcefully, will it remove the container also? Let's see. It's removed. It's removed, and now you see the images. There is no image. See the container now. How many containers are there? Still container is there. Container is there. Container will not be removed, because from that image you created the container. So container itself is okay. It is there. No problem. Because once you created the container from image, container is no longer required. You can delete the image, but suppose you have deleted the container also. In that case, what will happen? You cannot you have to download that image again, then you have to create the container, then you have to start it. So so if you want to delete the container, you have to explicitly delete, but by deleting image, container will not be deleted, because there is no direct relationship. It is just telling the reference is there, but still if you want, you can do. Okay. Just clear this one, or else leave it as it is. Next. So docker remove forcefully. So remove forcefully when it is required. If you docker container you want to remove, you can remove. Generally you can remove, but container is running, then how will you remove it? How you will remove it? So what I will do, I will start this container first. Okay. So to start the container, what is the command? Docker start. You have to give the command, you have to give the container ID, sorry, or I think you can start with the container name also. We'll see both. Okay. So docker start, docker start, clear this console. So docker start what? Container. Where is container ID? You have to see the container ID first. So docker docker psa all will give. So one container is there, I want to start this container. Since that image is not there, but will it start? It should be. Okay. So docker docker start this container, copy and paste. Is it started or not? How will you verify whether it is started or not? See the process status again. See, started and exited 8 seconds ago, because there is nothing to do in this container. There is no program, nothing is there, just an operating system. This is just an operating system. Immediately it is started and stopped, so there is no running container. You see, you can see here, this time 8 seconds, before it was 17 minutes ago, exited was 17 minutes ago, now exited 8 seconds ago. How? Because immediately container is started and container is stopped, because this is just a blank operating system. Blank operating system means just operating system. We have not installed any software in that one, we have not done any process in that one. So immediately it's up and down, that's it. If some work is there, some application installation is there, then that application has to run, something is there, then it will be running. Suppose you created a container, in that container you installed Java, then you installed Tomcat. On this Tomcat you have installed one application, and that application is continuously running. So that container also will be running state until and unless you don't stop it, it will be running. So currently, immediately this container started and immediately exited, because there is no other job to do in that one. So that's why it is telling 8 seconds ago. Again, if you see process status, about a minute ago, if I again start this container, started and stopped immediately, and if you see 2 seconds ago only it stopped. Okay. So this is the use of how, this is the command that how can you start the container. You have to give the container ID. We will try to give the container name also. We will see whether we can start by the container name also, similar to how we are deleting based on the container name or container ID. Same container image and image ID and image name. We are removing that image based on image ID or image name. So I will try to run start the container based on the container name. So what is the name of container? This is 45 seconds ago. Okay, this is the name of a container. Copy this name, and this is the command to start. Instead of giving container id, give container name. Yeah, it is started, and see the process status. So you can start the container by using container id or container name. It's up to your choice. Okay, so container, docker start, docker stop, and container id, container name. Remove forcefully and exit, we will see this, enter into the running container. Currently we cannot enter into our running container, because why we cannot enter? See, our container is started and immediately stopped. We don't have a time to enter into that console. What can we do? Okay. Okay, attach, we'll see that later. Docker, okay, so by using docker ps command, you can see the running container, and docker psa, you can see the both running and non-running container. Docker remove, rm remove, you can use to remove the or to delete the container based on the container id or by container name. And if you want to remove all, then docker ps aq will tell the process id of running container, sorry, of all containers, id of all container. Next, docker remove forcefully, we will see this later, because what we will do in our next creator container creation, we will start our process and we will install Tomcat, and Tomcat will be started, so it will be running. We will see that one. In that case, we can connect with docker and we can do our command prompts execution in that one. We will see that later. Docker start, you have to give container id, either you can start the container by container id or by container name. Docker stop, you have to give the container id or container name, you can stop that container. And docker execit, this is used to enter into already running container or attach with already running container. Okay, to enter into already running container and to attach with already running container, we will see this one. We'll see this later. Next, docker command, then you have to give docker container, then you have to give some command to manage the container. Okay, so this is all about in this session. So we'll quickly summarize what we have learned in this one. So first one, if I ask you the question, question number 8, how to create the container, how to create the container, container, how to create the container, we can create the container by docker docker run image name, image id, you can use whatever you want to use, image id or image name, you can create the container, or image id. So you can create the container, simple. How to create the container? Currently there are other ways are also there to create the container. From the docker file we can create the container, from image we can create the container. We will see this one later. Currently you understand, just to use by using image you can create the container, docker run image name, so it will create. Next, how to see the status of all container, how to see the status of all container, or you can say how to see how many containers are available. So question is ninth one, how to see the containers, how to see the available containers both running and non-running, how will you see it? So the command is docker process status A stands for all it will give, simple, process status all it will give. Fine. What next we have done? After that, how to start the container, remove container, that is okay. So first is to create the container, okay, we have how to see the both running and non-running, you have to type A, otherwise you can see the list of running container. If I say how to see the running container detail, how to see the running containers, how to see the running containers, it's quite simple. Just you have to remove this A, process status, that's it. This is your 10th question. Okay, how to see the running container. Fine. Next, I want to remove the container. How can I do that one? How to remove the container, how to remove the container. So docker rm, then you have to give either container id or container name. By container id or container name you can remove it. If I want to remove forcefully, if the container is running, then how can I do it? How to remove the running container. It means you have to use force, F option you have to add here. So forcefully you want to remove, you can remove, because container is in running state, simply you cannot remove. Similar to image, if the image is referenced by some container, in that case what you have to do, you have to tell forcefully, yeah, leave it, remove this container, remove this image. Either container is created, let it be, but remove this image. So you have to tell that one. So in that case, if a container is running, you cannot remove simply, you have to tell forcefully, you remove. Okay, that's it. We'll see that in this command we'll see in next session, when we will run our container for long time, it will be running. Okay, next, what are the next commands? How to remove forcefully, how to start the container and stop the container. How to start and stop container, I am writing one questions. In one question you can comprise this one. Question number 12, how to start and stop the container. How to start and stop the container. So how will you do it? So docker, here either you use start or stop, any one of them, start or stop, any one of them. Then next what you have to give? You have to give either container id or container name. Simple. Docker start, container id or by name. Docker stop by container id or container name, whatever the you are using to start and stop, you can do. Okay, fine. We can start and stop. Container, how to manage the container, like manage is nothing but docker container remove by container id, you can do that also. So how to manage, simply just how to manage. After manage you have to give some command. So I am just writing a general question, we will see in next session, but just for just for an idea, you keep in mind, we have to manage the container also. So 12, 13, 14, this is 14, this is your 13 question number. Okay, so how to manage the container, how to manage the container. So simple, docker contain container, then you have to write some command, that's it. Docker container, of what you want to do on that container, you want to remove, you want to attach, you want to do something, you can do it. Okay. This command currently you leave it, you will not understand what is the meaning of attach, what is the meaning of entering into the running container, how will you do it. If our container, currently the container whatever we have created, it is not a long running, it is immediately up and down, you cannot attach to that container. Container should be running for long time, then only you can attach or you can enter into that container and you can execute your commands there. Okay, we will see that in our next session. Okay. So this is all about this session, and in our next session we will continue from here itself only. Create, run, manage the image and container, we will see all those in our next session. Okay. Docker registry, what is Docker registry? What is Docker registry? Docker registry is a place where the Docker images are stored. And what is Docker registry? Docker Hub is your Docker registry. You currently what name we are calling, we are saying it is a central repository or public central repository, something, global repository or public repository, we are telling something like that. So that is nothing but a registry, simple. Docker registry, the place where the Docker images are stored, where the Docker images are stored, called a Docker registry. And there are two types of Docker registry. One is a private Docker registry. Where is a private Docker registry? In our local machine, that is a private Docker registry. Whenever you are installing Docker in your local machine, your Docker is creating a private Docker registry inside your system. That is your private Docker registry, local computer registry or repository. And public Docker registry is your Docker Hub, hub.docker.com. This one. Here we are exploring how many images are there. All images are stored here, you can see here. So many images are there. Okay, so this is called Docker registry. We have already seen Docker images. We'll see how many local images are there. It will show. Process status, we have seen. Running containers details, or non-running also, both containers it is telling. Okay, so this is all about in this session, and thank you, have a nice day, we'll see you in the next session.